Yeah, so hi. So my name's Annie. I'm 22 years old at the moment, and in February this year, it was the first time I'd had a proper appointment with my neurology consultant. So when I started transitioning from paediatrics to adult neurology, I was 16 years old. I'd not long decided I wanted brain surgery to try and put a stop to my epilepsy, so I needed two key things to transition from paediatrics to adult care. I needed an adult neurosurgeon and I needed an adult consultant. So when you put those two things into perspective, you'd think the journey to brain surgery would be a little bit more complicated, but I got a neurosurgeon almost straight away at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham. So what took the most time was finding a consultant. I had an appointment with a consultant back in 2016 in Kidderminster, which is an hour and a half bus ride from where I live. But without reading any of my files, this man told me my epilepsy was mechanical and somehow not caused by my cavernoma, which are proved by the 3 MRIs I'd had previously. The conversation overall lasted about 15 minutes, with no real outcome, and he gave me his opinion that I didn't need the surgery. I didn't end up seeing this consultant again, not because I didn't want to, but because he just disappeared. In his place were either standing consultants who I wasn't assigned to, which led to less productive appointments, or my appointments were cancelled altogether. My neurosurgeon ended up taking my consultant's place. If I had high amounts of seizures due to my exam stress, he would give me advice. If my tablet dose needed changing, he would be the one to authorise it. And if I needed something from my GP, he was on it to approve it as well. Even when I was lucky enough to be given an epilepsy nurse just before my surgery, she would be asking permissions from my neurosurgeon because even though they worked in the same hospital, she also had no idea where my consultant had gone. In June 2019, I had my brain surgery to take out my main cavernoma in my left frontal lobe. It was a 6-hour-long surgery, and as can happen with this type of surgery, it caused me mental health problems in the following months. 3 months later, my epilepsy nurse was doing all the work for me. She made sure my tablets were adjusted to suit me post-surgery. She pointed me to Healthy Minds for counselling, and she also put me on a waiting list for neuropsychiatry, which I'm now on. She has also routinely checked up on me since. On the year anniversary of my surgery, my neurosurgeon caught up with me and he asked me who my consultant was. When I told him even I didn't know anymore, he was the one who assigned me a new one in my town to avoid me travelling. When I met him in February this year, it was 6 years after my transition had started. That appointment was probably one of the most important I've ever had. He told me the Tegretol I take daily slows my metabolism and causes calcium and vitamin C deficiencies, something me nor my family, who comes to every appointment, had been told before. So I'm now on a list for blood tests to check for any harm. My mind often wonders if there is harm done, whether I can reverse it with the supplements I'm now taking. I also wonder if this could have been prevented with a consistent consultant after my transition had started. At least I had my surgeon to look out for me these past few years. Imagine if I hadn't, if surgery had ended up being off the cards altogether. Who would I have turned to that could have took action? My seizures fluctuated so much through my GCSEs and A-levels. Who would I have turned to for advice? When my amount of tonic-clonic seizures went up in sixth form, who would have helped me? When I had bundles of questions leading up to my surgery, I wish I could have put my mind at ease without waiting 6 months plus for my next neurosurgeon appointment, because as you can imagine, a brain surgery is too busy to answer my little questions about how long I might be out of action after my surgery. So those are just a few of the things that affected me by having no consultant, but I dread to think how much more there could have been for other young people with no neurosurgeon who, past 21, still transitioning into adult care. So that's it from me.